Hi, good evening all. This is Padma and going through the story of today's I can feel it like people like um, some farmers or some people who cultivate vegetables, all the people go through such a hard time gone through such a hard time during this corona. They had served for long months for them cultivations, and when it came to this corona, all has stopped. All the street vendors, everywhere, every shops, everything. They suffered a lot. They, even though they had many within their hands, they can't give it back. They can't sell it out. Without that, they can't gain money also. So during that time, the people who approached them for the online purchases, and then who had helped them serving the vegetables or whatever the groceries were uh, cultivated, like that, the people from the other places helped them to take it over to uh, ship uh, pass it to where they had shown a way for the people to connect from one place to another. Like the people who cultivated, they suffered for the certain time, and they had showed a light in between the online purchasing during this time, and they are now such a way the story, like where the old man helped them, old man and woman helped them during the season till they complete the animals. So I I thought even the during this Chennai floods also, no one has expected the situation coming through. They had many within their house itself for the cooking cells or the working anything, but due to the floods, everything ruined out there. But people from other people who gathered there and helped everyone to come out during this situation had showed them so much helpful for the others who are in the trouble. Can anyone relate to this story, or this relate to the to have gone through uh, during some problems, or have you faced have you put on so much of effort and you can't get it, but at that same point someone would have helped you in some situations that you can be back to your form.
Hi. So yeah, this story was really what we needed to know because I didn't expect the sort of perspective that you put out initially. But yeah, during the summers when everyone is actually thirsty and in Chennai put some effort to like keep water for them and keep food for them for the summer struggle because nobody could beat the heat. So yeah, I compared the winter to our regular summers because winter is what happens regularly. So yeah, so summer is our unbeatable blanket of snow.
Yeah, in Chennai summers are too hard. Yeah, I know it. Some water or some seeds outside helps a few birds which are going on the way. Is it? Mm, or have you done during the tough times which you are suffering?
Um, so hi Padma. Uh, there was a time where I think during my third, right now I'm in my fifth year. So when I was in my second year or third year, I believe, I don't know. It might sound so funny right now if I think about the situation, but that time I felt like I was having a very hard time. But definitely, I think people around you or your teachers, your mentors, your friends, your family are always there to support you. Or there will be one person in your life, maybe your close friend or your childhood friend or your dad. Like for me, it was my dad. Just a minute. So yeah, it was my dad who he's always he's always on my back and he tries to get me out of the situation that I'm going through. And yeah, I did have such times and I did to come out of it. And it's nice to have at least one person in your surrounding that who can get you out of your sufferings or feelings. Yeah.
It's really good to have someone back on us who supports us. And even the situations like one of my senior, super senior, he's in his final year and he's in his thesis that time. All sudden he lost his laptop and all his works got crashed. All the works done were like vanished like just like that, and no one is really ready to give him the laptop for the 3 months also. And that time I got my new laptop at my second year, and he asked me for help, and then I gave my laptop and the time when he left was like he was so happy, and he was like I had requested many people but no one would have helped me, and you had helped me during my thesis this time. I was so much happy. Felt that that happiness, like I can still feel it how he felt it. uh, is there any situations you guys felt bad, and have you overcome through someone's help?
So like when anyone lends a hand when we are going through a tough time, it would actually be the ray of sunshine or anything. So every one of us has to have this low point in our lives, and there is some or the other person, a relative or a friend or anyone, a stranger or anyone who is actually who we call, as the fairy tale says, the knight in the shining armor or something. So yeah, I did feel that uh, this this book also somewhat, it was like you do not expect help from them, and then suddenly when you expect help from them, you will be over the top and over the mountains actually. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I felt. It was a varied expression and varied feeling.
Yeah, some situations will be like we will be having everything whatever we want, but we can't do anything with that at certain points. We need some lead to go through it, and then we can use the things which we had, or we definitely need some help at certain points whatever we had also, but we definitely need at certain points some support from someone else. Aditya, can you relate to something related story? Um, Thank you, Aditya.
So yeah, I would like to add on to his point. So okay, when we only look at the other side when we struggle, we do not look at anyone at any other point. So I always thought that okay. So we have friends, we have family to look after us and something like that, but only when we struggle we see people coming out and we see people trying to help us out. But why don't we to fight against nature or anything, why don't we take a step initially and start it before? I always had this question in my mind, so I don't know, maybe I will get my answer here.
Sure.
Yeah, so like we only uh, we only come out when we have a struggle or any natural calamities or anything that happens. We do not start it off initially. We do not like see each other or help us each other initially. Why do we wait for the last moment, the end clock or the judgment day for everything? Why don't we just start off like talking to each other or helping us out each other in the initial stage or something like that?
I think it's a matter of being able to be vulnerable. So if you're asking for help, you're vulnerable at that time, and you don't feel safe asking for help if everybody else is fine. okay, in Corona time, it's okay to ask for help because every so many people are in different kinds of trouble. But in normal times, one hesitates to ask for help. So I think that is the reason why people don't come out and interfere another, because unless another person asks for help, nobody will offer help. So it's like an interference, no?
I feel that is actually true. But yeah, at certain situations, when even when there's a smaller voice, we do not answer to it, and when there is a larger voice, we answer to it. That's what I feel is happening in today's world.
There are certain kind of people, like three different kinds of people will be there. They start. Some people starts initially with the thing which is coming forward. They will start at the particular point itself to take care of for the future. And some people will be like, okay, let it come. At that time, we can solve it. That kind of people will be there. And some would be like, it still didn't came. Why should I care like that? The people, uh, three different mindsets of people will be there. All won't be thinking in the same way, right? So
I have a different view on this. I mean, different view on to this question. Like, there are people who are doing, who are helping, who are connecting, and who are doing things out in their own small circles. So, when it comes to a national pandemic, I mean, to a pandemic or a national catastrophe or something like that, then maybe the help and the uh, I mean, action required is more. Um, uh, Maybe it needs more of manpower, so it comes and knocks at every door, and maybe it's also in that way, since the problem is widely known, it's also why I mean the action taken is also widely publicized. But the helping and the caring part is always being there, and maybe it's just that it misses our eye.
I actually agree with Aditya on the point where he said that generally Chennai, I think it was Aditya, I'm not sure who it was, who said that generally Chennaites are not so open in being friendly. So this is a point to think about. I mean, is this a change that the next generation has to work on to be more open and friendly? I mean, say your hellos in the lifts and wish people, ask a simple question, just show a little more friendliness to your neighbors.
Yeah, I believe we must be a little interactive, because in the book, the all the animals saw the flying geese towards the south, and all of them interacted within themselves, and each one got to know that winter is approaching through that. So I think by a little interaction between us, we might stand stronger, like how they did in the book.
but there are some situations that we can't expect, like this pandemic. But even though these situations are too harsh on us, there are people who are standing up for us and helping us throughout this. And there are people who actually stay away from the situations, like they um they initially take care of everything. They grow vegetables or something which are uh, not go like they don't go out for the purchasing things, and then they grow by themselves and they keep themselves safe inside the house itself. And there are people who are going out without caring, and they are just spreading it out like anything. But staying in and initially taking care of ourselves is the best way. Like raccoons and skunks in the story, they had kept everything for themselves, and they had been deep inside where uh, they can pass this winter.
Um, so I'm just curious, what are the other things that you guys were able to find out in the book that we were read today? Like, is there any other perspectives or any other thoughts that any of you would like to share?
I felt humans were like the redwood squirrel, or the squirrel that actually ate a peanut and then were sitting in their home safe, as they were all prepared and everything during the whole of summer, and then during the winter they had a cozy sleep with everything being prepared. So yeah, so I felt that I could somewhat, put a relatable perspective for that. Yeah, I believe that I am a person who do not ask help. So yeah, I am curious to know the answer for this. But yeah, there are some egos that I would say. But more than ego, there is some sort of there's some sort of, what to say, in Tamil it's called tayakam. Not shyness exactly, but yeah, there's some sort of a thinking that you would be judged, or thinking it is too much to ask for, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe it's just the insecurities that we feel to share about our problems, and as Adya told, there might be egos, like for few people who doesn't even express anything and share, or like seeking for help to somebody. And there is also one thing, like people, when you say something, they judge you back. So maybe that will be the main cause, that people don't express. And yeah, it should come from ourselves to express things.
Yeah, even some people feel like when they share something with others, uh, they might judge them. They feel insecure about they might judge them, or uh, they view them in a lower level. Such kind of perspectives also, they can't let it won't let them to share.
I think when we want to ask, I mean, we would have already tried our best before we actually reach out to someone. And yeah, and after doing that, if we are still thinking about reaching out to someone, I think we are more uh, like, as in, we are already relaying how the conversation would go. So without even actually going and we're asking them something, we are like, would they say this, would they say that? We're going to start thinking about what they would think about us what before we even approach the problem. So I think that's also a type of ego.
I
Yeah, I
think,
think.
sorry.
Yeah, Vimal.
Sorry. Yeah. So I think a good idea when it comes to one's problems is to just share the problem with a friend without asking for a solution or anything. Just discuss the problem first, and together you can think about whom to ask or how to solve the problem, rather than seeking a solution from a friend or hoping somebody will help you. You just talk about a problem that is there in your mind, saying, hey, I want to discuss a problem and I don't want a solution from you. I just want to talk about it. So if that person likes you and doesn't think you're a pest, then they'll be open to a discussion, and then together maybe that you can come up with an idea of who else to approach does to solve this problem.
Yeah, as Vimal said, we should like just open up to friends. But even to open up to people, we just need a group of good friends, so that they don't like criticize and don't let you down. And then there are even few people like who don't judge you back, but people like people feel like I'm suffering with my problems. Like, why should I suffer others with sharing my things and all? There are even people like that. Yeah.
See, my thinking is we live in a world where we have too many friends and not one real good friend. And developing one real good friend means actually looking out for that kind of person, and then it might take a long time to find that one good friend who is your wavelength, who understands you, cares for you, accepts you fully. Because most of the people don't fully accept you. So if they're always trying to change you, you're not comfortable in their presence. But so you find that one good friend, even if it takes a very long time, rather than having a whole lot of friends. And again, that person shouldn't start thinking that you're an emotional burden on them. Like, you're sharing way too much than they can handle. So it has to be a two-way street. That person also has to think of you in the same way, and that one person is enough. I mean, I don't feel we need too many friends. Sometimes, in this whole business of too many friends, we just get hurt and more lonely. There are just not enough people who understand us. That's what I feel.
It
Yeah.
might be so.
As you told, it's very hard to find a real good friend, and in these days, it's like pretty hard to have a friend at least. And then, like, people just they'll be just good before you, and then they'll back talk and then stuffs like that. I prefer, like, even though it's good or bad, like, the best people to share is your family. And then, yeah, whatever it is, you just have to open it up to your family, so you can get like a good suggestion to get through things.
Yeah, I felt the book actually conveyed a lot of details of the scenery that was happening around, and how thick the snow was, and how these animals actually analyzed all those things that are happening just through what is happening to the moon, how the what the moon represents, and then the gray clouds that pass by, and then the shorter the days that gets. So yeah, I just was really into the details that the sceneries and the nature was playing in this book. Do any of you have a point that like uh, they say that the moon is you know the moon has a rainbow circle around it, and then there's gonna be snow, and then yeah, there were certain things that we used to have like that initially, but yeah, that we miss right now. I feel like I miss those sort of details that used to be there before and now which isn't.
The one thing that I really miss is the fact that we live so away from animals and nature. I mean, I have a terrace. The only time I feel there is some nature is when I go up and I see. I live next to the ocean, so I see the ocean all the time. But I really miss the animals and that kind of life. And I think that we're all together. I mean, we're all bunched up in cities and in this concrete jungle, which keeps us so far away from so many things, and we are far away from each other also. Like, look at our conversation. I mean, there is so much sadness, there is so much pain, there is so much loneliness. So, what is it that we're doing living in these cities?
Yeah, even we can see that Robin, who was asked, would you be leaving to South? But he will be like, no, I'm going to stay back here and I'm going to eat the grass seeds and which are growing here. Even the snow was there. But, and the deers, which were like, they are all year long, they stay there for the food and they be there. But, but the big snow which came through, they never bushes were all the seeds was ice and which they can't grow. And the old man who came up out with the corns and the seeds, it's like a bright light for them which was shown to them. It's as not unexpected that happened. They are living there for years and then uh, all the food was fully sunk in a big snow or the thick layer of snow.
I felt in this all the rodents which were working so hard during the summer collecting food during the spring and the summer collecting food actually were towards the end was in a disappointment was like in a disappointment that their food was under the leaves and rocks, and those leaves and logs are now filled up with a great layer of snow around it, and then all have to search for higher branches and higher places so that they can have their nice sleep, and then whenever they are, but they didn't have the food that they. they were working hard for. Have anyone had a similar experience like that? You work hard and then one fine day that you have lost it, so have to regain it again somehow.
Yeah, even though they were old, that they came forward to help us. The only thing they, uh, good heart and soul, which made them come forward and the help the people in needful or the animals. Yeah, it's like just help them whatever you can.
So yeah, I have a funny story to tell along with that. I have a pet bird. So the pet bird, what it will do is, if we have some sort of a fruit or anything, it will start eating, and then it will finish how much ever it can, and it will throw down. So the rest of the dogs will come and they will finish everything off. So yeah, I think my my bird kind of acted like the blue jay bird, which actually goes around and telling food for everyone. So yeah, it's kind of like a funny story.
Yeah, even I could relate one thing is early in the morning, like daily, my dad he used to feed birds. So every day they come and eat and go. So that will be a daily process every day at our home. That is early in the morning he used to feed. Yeah, that will give a satisfaction to feed them.
So we have come to the last 5 minutes. And is there anything to share furthermore? Actually, at my home, we are staying near a nursery. My house is near in a nursery. So there are like 4 to 5 street dogs at my nursery office. And there is a pet dog at my home, and my mom always used to keep the leftover food on the compound wall where all the surrounding nurseries come there and eat. And every day when my mom keeps food for the my pet dog, and she also keeps for the outside dogs also, and they all the dogs eagerly wait for the time at 8 o'clock every day there at the gate. Whatever the situation, it's either raining also, the dogs will be staying there for the food and then they leave. When they see my mom, they will be jumping like anything. And in my pet dogs, like when we keep food for the birds, when we were no one surrounding the area, my pet dog will be so silent that birds to eat the when we and we look forward for the tomorrow section. Please share this about in social media also. Thank you for coming to this section. Thank you everyone.